notes on. Their game is not about fighting. Their game is about turret destruction. They come in with the 2 picks that they had over there. The main idea of here was just give me the turrets.
And you talk about the 345 in game 2, but you link it back to game number 1. Clear goal coming in from the side of Buriram United Esports, taking down that tier 1, taking the red buff, and then snowballing the game. 8 minutes, 5,000 goal lead, only a single kill for Buriram in game 1. But that's just how they snowball the game into total control in this game 1.
And they understand the win conditions of each particular draft, right? Down here, first target to fall after Tofu was Julius. Julius was meant to be the recovery effect. Butterfly gets the assist, come back into the fight and get those finishing blows, but it was never the case.
Like, even in a situation you're a 4v5, just look at the goalie here. 4,000 in the favor of Buriram United Esports here. Licky barely touched by any single member coming in from Team Flash. And as of this point, Julius is like, guys, I gotta head back to the fountain, get some health back. But then while the time he's on his way back, it's already too little too late.
It's so difficult to play this game because not only in game 1, game number 2, they had all the answers as well. Valdez, the moment he drops his ultimate, sure, that's fine. Maybe you want to try and get the team fight as well, but then look at the cover by Little Boys on the Dharma. He was all over the place getting those truth mantras in, and the truth really did hurt on this one.
We know that this is a team sport, that we understand how everything is going to be about, like all the teammates pushing in. But it's important just to understand that some of them just shine a little bit brighter than the rest. When you think about Buriram United Esports, who do you think was like the biggest star in this 5-man formation?
Nunu.
You should have waited, we should have counted, and then we're going for Nunu because I had Nunu as well. Okay, you know, we'll work on our teamwork, but it's okay. This is the Buriram gameplay, right? You go first and I'll back you up.
I think I agree with you guys in terms of Nunu. Nunu in both games was ideal for any team, just being able just to deal the damage, to just be able to just protect as well. Well, what about if we go on stage and we try to see and hear a little bit more from the players? Mara, take it from here. Let's see exactly what's going on there.
From the winning team, Buriram United, we're here with Nunu, the mid laner. Congratulations! And how was that you received the very first match win here at EWC? How is that for your confidence? How is the team's mindset right now?
ก่อนอื่นเลยนะฮะก็ขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับที่ตอนนี้เนี่ยเราคว้าชัยชนะแรกของทัวร์นาเมนต์ EWC มาแล้วฮะ
ดีใจครับเพิ่งมาเล่นด้วยครับก็แมตช์แรกก็สนุกครับ
Yep, I'm very happy and excited that we already achieved the first victory and like we are very happy to be here too in Paris.
And one thing we were really happy about, you used the new AOV collab hero Lorian in the mid lane. They're the very first team to use that in EWC. Now, Lorian has a really long stun. And when you get your opponent, well, it's a guaranteed success for you, especially when you were getting the farm laner in game 1. How much fun was using Lorian, our new AOV hero collab, for your first match?
มาพูดถึงในตอนเกมแรกบ้างนะฮะเราหยิบลอเรียนมานะฮะซึ่งเป็นฮีโร่ที่เป็นคอลลาบอเรชันกับทาง AOV นะฮะเนื่องจากว่าตัวนี้เนี่ยมีสตันที่ค่อนข้างเป็นเวลานานเลยทีเดียวเมื่อเราเนี่ยว่าแลนสตันได้แล้วเนี่ยค่อนข้างจะเป็นการการันตีได้เลยทีเดียวมีความคิดเห็นยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่ามันแตกต่างกับเกม AOV ที่ผมเล่นครับเพราะว่าโลออนเกมนี้ก็จะเหมือนกึ่งโป๊กนิดนึงครับเพราะว่าสกิลเขาค่อนข้างแรงครับ
Yeah, so Lorian in this game is kind of a bit of different from the AOV that he has been played because it's like in this game it's kind of semi-poke.
But you know, we really enjoyed watching you. How about some tips for everybody watching looking to use this new hero?
Hello, I think अभी आ रही रहेंगे आवाज. Okay, we are back.
Tips for the rank.
ก็ขอ1 ทิปให้กับแฟนๆที่ดูจากทั่วโลกหน่อยฮะว่าเวลาเล่นลอเรียนเนี่ยมีทิปอะไรบ้างครับ
ก็ถ้าเป็นของเกมนี้ก็พยายาม
Let's go guys, very important match of EWC Honor of Kings. Let's go.
So when you saw that
क्या लगता है भाई क्या लगता है guys कौन जीतेगा? What do you guys think?
Great, for sure. More people are going to use that, and we're so proud with your first win. How about send a message to everybody watching from Thailand? What would you like to say to all your supporters?
มีข้อความอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยบ้างครับ
ก็ฝากเชียร์พวกผมด้วยครับพวกผมจะทำให้เต็มที่ครับผม
Yeah. So thank you so much everyone for keep supporting us and like hope you guys will keep like
Oh,
supporting us.
Rolex, what's
John,
up?
well done
S8ul का
once
मैच
again.
कब है भाई? S8ul का मैच
Congratulations, Nunu.
just
Congratulations
just
to Baruram
just start
Pinayan.
होने वाला है भाई.
And
ये
now we're
मैच
gonna
खत्म
head
हो गया
over
है.
to the
So
casters. Lead the gorge.
Thank you very much, Mara. Thank you
Upcoming
very much.
matches
You can
is
hear it
S8ul
over
का
there in the
match.
background. The people are enjoying this a lot. As a person who has been working on HOK already for so many years, I'm going to tell you, lads, I am extremely happy of seeing this match one going the way that it went. Because this is the main idea about this KWC 2026, expanding our family, making the ecosystem richer, and make everyone just to understand from different angles, with different heroes, with different players, how our game can become richer and richer and richer.
And richer also comes in the form of pick and bans, right?
Bro, S8ul आ गई. Oh भाई, ground में आ गई guys. मैच start हो रहा है. Expectation था कि यार थोड़ा late होगा, लेकिन यार सामने S8ul के मेरे को players दिख रहे हैं.
And then you have the things like Lorian, which has had an amazing performance coming in from Nunu. And we have yet to see Anna yet, but I was pretty surprised when Julius picked up the butterfly in that game one. He had some pretty good moments here, but at the end of the day, it's a team game, and I think this time around in this upper bracket semifinals, I feel that specifically for the side of Buriram, they did better.
They definitely did. And of course, the tips from Nunu, right? This is very important, right? If there's low health, just get it poked. But of course, let's poke the bear a little bit. Let's go to Isaac.
You know what? I am extremely excited for this game. I am really looking forward for match number 2. Before we do that, what about if we go for a little break, and then after that, match number 2 is going to be upon us.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out,
Esports making it forward into the upper bracket. Now, we're going to jump into our match number 2. For our match number 2, we're going to have two teams that we all have known from before. Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. These are going to be the two teams that are right now just getting ready on stage for us to bring in here the main ideas and the main action of the game.
For these two teams, right, I feel for Seoul Esports, they are a very new region as a whole, right? Where they just joined the region not new long ago, and then coming in for their first tournament is already KWC here in Paris, France. So, Blam, if you were to look at SAUL, how would you rate them?
I mean, if there's anyone to give them a warm welcome, it's definitely Influence Rage, right? Obviously, we have had the Chalk BR teams here since 2024, but Seoul Esports, I definitely feel like they have something to prove, just like we just saw in the last games from Buriram United as well as Team Flash. This is now their time to shine, try and get themselves into the upper bracket.
I'm telling you, Mala, I think that these two teams are playing for completely different things. And that is one of the beautiful about this. The people that you can see over there on your screen, S8ul Esports, Seoul Esports, they're fighting just to ride the first page of Indian Honor of Kings storyline onto the KWC with really golden letters.
Now, I don't mean to be someone who will like to discourage teams, but I feel that the direction coming in from the Indian region, the Kings Arise the runner-up here, which is SAUL, it's to learn as much as you can, adapt in towards it, and see how far you can realistically go. Because your opponents here, Influence Rage, it comes with Chalk BR.
Influence Rage is one of those teams that they're really looking forward just to show us that the South American HOK scene are real contenders in the international stage. We've had them for a long time. These people with experience, but up until right now, not yet a big tournament win.
Not big tournament winner, but if you look at them as a region as a whole, they've always been top 8.
Yes.
Like, that's a beautiful thing. If you've been to so many KWCs and you've reached top 8, that's very impressive for your region.
But we need to just kind of like just make that step forward, right? Like top 8 was a great first start, but it's been already so many years. We want to see one of the Chalk BR teams really make it to top 4, to make it to the finals. Wouldn't that be actually really interesting to watch?
Exactly, right? I mean, that Chalk BR, like you mentioned, right? In terms of HOK's history, all the way from KIS 1 into KIS 2 into currently the world stage, they have been, I would say, on a slow run down where they look good at the start, but as the global infrastructure starts improving, they need to find more ways to prove themselves. Like, they have what it takes to actually contend for the top spots here. Like Alpha 7 Gaming from last year, they actually made top 8. And who was in that roster? You have Fury, you have players like Danny who led that roster here. So coming in towards this play-ins here, it's their stepping stone for a greater success.
Let's spotlight that a little bit, right? Because we just mentioned Danny. When you think about Chalk BR, you're always thinking about the same man. And this is going to be a real good moment for Danny just to prove that, right? Like, it's going to be a completely new team, a new roster. Can he really just play to the level that he needs to play in this KWC 2026?
I really think so, because I mean, last year we kind of like doubted him as just a solo tank jungler, but then this time around, obviously last year, he proved to us, he was like, right, we can be the assassins, we can play the game.
Well, we will have to wait and see exactly what we're going to do. Let's wait and see exactly what is going to happen. We are going to have Influence Rage against S8ul.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Oh, bhai. Tough match hai.
This is going to be the
But hope alive hai.
Caller, what do you guys have in mind?
क्या लगता है guys कौन जीतेगा? Chat में बता दो भाई फटाफट.
Right. I think that for this one, it really sets the tone of the rest of how the Group A is going to be. We saw the first two teams already, especially in terms of this AOV squads, but now a lot of pressure on both of these ones, especially for, I mean, is it Seoul Esports? Like, who has more pressure on them?
I would definitely think it's the reverse. It has to be Influence Rage, right? Because we have players like Danny, or Donnie as we like to call him. He has experience in AOV as well. He should know what's coming under the covers of that punch.
Yes, definitely so. And I think that for him, in terms of experience on the international stage, he probably has the most throughout the entire, both of the squads here, right? So I think that for looking into this one, Danny is probably the guy.
And also, the history of this, when the Brazil teams came in, they got first place in their competitions. This is S8ul's first ever international competition. Can they repeat the results as well? We're going to see, because the first pick is going to be the Zhangfei, one of the biggest tanks in the game. This is going to be really important because they have a lot of health bars as well as a lot of damage on the side of S8ul.
Good, a great, couple of picks to kind of set things up. S8ul, especially with his Flowball Marksman, you're really setting things up for KaelTzy to really get going. He wants that type that needs that range, and Flowball Marksman hits all of those parts.
Ooh, this one hurts me in the gut. I mean, the Lorian, we've already seen this in the first series of the day, and that's a lot of damage, a lot of CC, more importantly, because 2 seconds is a long time in the Honor of King's War. But add that in, we have the Guan Yu coming in for the side lane with the Zhangfei. So what? This is like 4 seconds of CC?
Yes, a lot of control. And with that Lorian, which you rightly pointed out, a lot of it is going to revolve around that. We were expecting going in, there was going to be a moment where Lorian would be insta-banned almost every single game. Obviously, very early. Second series of the day, and we've already seen it in the first one where it was completely dominant in that first game.
Yes, and of course, the biggest surprise to me is that they did not pick up the Florentino. So Florentino is open for the taking, but it will not show, right? Unless someone wants to play in the jungle, which shouldn't be the case. But with that being said, the Lapu Lapu comes in as the final pick before the second half bans come in. Now, there's a lot of tankiness, a lot of physical and magical defense coming in from the Lapu's passive. This is going to help out S8ul's draft so far. They have a Byron, Mega Shields, and the Flowball Marksman is going to be a very important pick here. He is a shredder on this team.
Definitely so. And there's a lot of tinky guys, so it's definitely going to be something that they're looking to do. Let KaelTzy get going, right? On the same side, if we're looking at both of them, you rightly pointed out, very tanky, a lot of those big stuns to set things up in the first phase of the draft here. But now I think they need to really show up, get more damage on the board, if you will.
Yeah, they definitely need to. My biggest question now is, okay, look, farm lane is still available for the picks on the side of Influence Rage, but a lot of the useful ones, like the Arlie, Direnjia, as well as the Aoyan, the Lung, have been taken out. Lupan is great, but Lupan is very immobile.
Yes, definitely. That's a huge problem, right? Right now, it's about mobility, being able to kind of, when those team fights are about to happen, especially with the Guan Yu lurking around in the wings, Lapu Lapu is going to be looking to set things up himself with the Byron as backup. You got to kind of make sure you have the right angles.
It's so difficult. You know what hero comes to mind? I like the Garo. She does a great job at shredding the shields, plus 50% damage on shielded targets. That could be the answer here, but once again, mobility is an issue. They need help. Hopefully the Guan Yu, the Zhangfei, and the Lorian will be able to assist and provide the space needed.
Yes, and now with this Lady Jeanne here to kind of set things up for the mid-game. Again, a lot of the stuns. This is even more pressure on KaelTzy to perform. He goes down, they're going to lack a lot of damage.
For sure, and you know what? I'm hoping for the skin coming in on this Lady Jeanne pick, but we'll take a look at what the final portions of this BP will be. Influence Rage, they're going to set the stage. They need the jungler, they need the farm laner, and they need to be able to shred. They have the CC, they have the control, they have the movement as well. They need the final answer here.
My problem is I'm not a huge fan of this 4-Protect 1 lineup, right? I think that, oh, okay, well, there you go. They're going to get to the back line. This is one way to do it. But I do think if we're talking about, overall team fights, they have a lot of control to deal with this Jing that's going to potentially jump to that back line.
Okay, you know what? Mirror is broken. That's not going to be a good sign here for the side of Influence Rage. But if there's any team to pull this off, Dani in the jungle on a Jing. I don't remember seeing him play this hero too many times, but we also have Leffy on the channel. Can the Brazil squad bring themselves to the next stage of KWC play-ins?
I love how Influence Rage drafted this, right? They were like, okay, who is our star player? Danny. Right? Let's set things up so that we ensure that we get a hero that he's going to love to play. It's going to be all or nothing in terms of just how this hero is able to kind of, get his farm and to do that damage. It's all in right now on the Danny train.
Okay, and we also, we had a very short moment with both coaches just now. And on the side of S8ul, they predicted a 2-0 scoreline for the series.
Okay.
So I want to see if that comes true. On the other hand, for Kaiba. He's coming in. There is a big expectation. They need to dominate at this play-ins for the KWC 2026.
Yeah, and I think is Influence Rage, you want to be like, okay, hello, welcome to the international stage. We will smack you down. I think that would be best case scenario for them. SAUL, obviously, they want to perform. If they're able to take the first 5-10 minutes and get an edge, that would be a huge win in terms of confidence, morale, and really sticking it to Influence Rage.
That's the dream, right? But this is the international stage, and this is their first time on the international stage.
Right.
For Influence Rage, is the complete opposite. They have been here multiple times. They have experienced the tension, the energy as well of the crowd. I want to see how this affects both teams.
Yes, I think that that's going to be the biggest piece. As we go to the second series of the day, we're going to go to game number 1 to see exactly Influence Rage, SAUL Esports, how they do this one. Because again, if we're talking about draft though, who are you giving the edge to?
I actually like the side of Influence Rage a little bit more, but simply because there is a potential for flashy and very confusing intense moments that will be brought over to the side of SAUL. So if they don't know how to deal with this, SAUL might fall in this first game.
Yes. All about space, space, space. I can't speak more of it because Kelteezy is the guy. He's 100%. Are they able to kind of get on point? He needs to stay alive, ensure that he gets as much time with the solo experience as he's getting in this bottom lane. This is what they want to do in terms of just kind of setting him up for success.
Easier said than done, because at this point, China, with the Soul of the Wolves as well, it kind of dilutes the value of a Flowborn Marksman pick, because yes, you can pierce your targets, but if they're all at different angles, you can't get the amount of wave clear speed that you want.
Yes, and now it looks like at the same time, Influence Rage, I mean, this, if they're able to kind of limit what KLTZ is going, that's going to open things up for Danny, right? And if we're trying to talk about space, about who can really carry, Danny's the guy.
It has to be. And Ditching is a big pick here. They need this lady in the mirror domain and dimension to be able to shine. And this is going to be the first big objective we're talking about, right? The goal lead. Can they get the EXP and the goal lead over to the side of Danny? Because if they can't, then SAUL, Kong is going to show him a world of hurt.
Yeah, Kong is definitely the guy that needs to step up, right? Make sure, I would like it if SAUL were to be aggressive and to take away some of those Azure Golems, because you take away that blue buff, Danny's not going to be able to farm as much as he would like.
Yeah, and you know what? Farming is definitely going to be important. They're going to open it up. I don't think it's too much. Actually, Kong doesn't really care. He goes back in.
Yeah, not scared. He's actually fighting 1 versus 3 because he knows that reinforcements are on the way. Mena taking most of the damage. He has the Leaping Savior just to stay alive. But SAUL, again, this is what you want to do. You want to pick, poke, prod, whatever you can do, and put pressure on Influence Rage.
I like this confidence, right? You have to have it at this point.
Oh, nice little stun, though. They flash away Extreme, just staying alive. Doofy had his back, though.
Okay, so 2 minutes cooldown, 120 seconds for the flash. That's a good skill to take out, common spell to take out from the side of SAUL. But it's on Extreme. The ladies, and she can play from far, so it doesn't really matter that much at this point.
Definitely doesn't really matter. I mean, Extreme is the type where he's kind of like the secondary support, right? He doesn't have to get those items. Maybe you get the Venomous Staff, but nice little control. They find Fury, the Leaping Savior, the shields are on point. Fury looking to limp away, but now here comes the Razor Cavalry on the back. Tempest with a nice play, but Kong is going to go down. They find Extreme as well, and SAUL have to just limp away with 2 members down.
We are afraid of the Tempest Dragon. No, you need to be afraid of the Tempest Guan Yu. This is the one that hurts. One more.
Yeah, KLTZ flashing away, just trying to just pick and prod with Leffy on this one, who again created a lot of that space. Now this bottom T1 is under siege.
And this one hurts, because right now this means he's missing out on the minion EXP and gold. This is not looking good for KLTZ as well. Now we take a look at the gold lead, right? Close to 3,000.
Oh, nice little stun. Oh, Doofy finds Leffy. He tried to soaring signal back to safety, but he got caught out. The charge is just too much from Doofy.
Not the kind of peekaboo that Leffy wants to. And you know, the fact he came from the left, that was great.
Leffy, as he goes into this one. Now, I mean, that's going to be a huge win for that. But now, if we're talking about how they want to play this one out, Doofy, nice little control, finding 2 members in the brush. But again, it was more of just impeding the ambush attempt.
Yes, it is. And right now, this laning phase is, I think, even Stevens for now, but the goalie's definitely in the side of Influence Rage. And 4 minutes, Doofy hiding alone here.
Oh, he's all by himself, but there's 3 members that tried to go on. Good. This is great in terms of that spacing, right? Doofy took a lot of that damage, and now it's going to set up for this Tyrant. Oh, now they find him. Doofy getting a little bit too low, the Raging Sea, but he's going to be picked off. Kong is too low himself, and they find 3 members. Influence Rage are starting to create that space.
Exactly what you want. The important members, they're all gone. The tank Doofy is gone. Kilteezy, your farm lane is gone. Your jungle, Kong is gone as well. And S8ul, they need to find a recovery point because Danny has already secured the first timer of the game. 30 seconds in, not what you want to see.
It kind of started with Doofy, right? He was kind of initially fighting, got a little bit too low, and when the actual team fight was happening, he was kind of just taken down. You need his CCs, you need him to kind of cycle through his skills, was not able to do it because it was just a little too low at the beginning of that fight.
I mean, he was just doing his job, right? He wanted to get the vision for the team, but now that simple change has made life a lot more difficult. Influence Rage, they're looking for the target in the mid lane. If the T1 falls here, it's going to be a difficult one to fight back. 5k goal difference is not something you can come back from easily.
I mean, it's 1k starting to grow with every minute that's happening, right? I mean, we're only 5 minutes into this one. Kong just trying to keep his Crimson Golem alive, or, you know, the buff away for himself. He does take that, but S8ul right now, they are absolutely reeling. They need to calm down, find ways to get back into this.
Okay, I mean, it felt like you were telling me to calm down because it was looking kind of scary for Kong at this point. 0-2-0. No assists, no kills, 2 deaths. This is not where you want to be at this point.
Do not. And look at how Influence Rage completely zoning them away. They've kind of just, you know, springboarded past that T1 mid to push them further back. S8ul right now, they're starting to group up together, and that is a losing proposition.
Yes, when it rains, it pours for this one because now the jungle is getting taken away. You don't get the EXP from the lanes anymore. You don't get the EXP. Here we go.
They dive on this one. They find Kong, who has to roll on back, but the Razor Cavalry, the pushback is unreal by Tempest. Miriam is solo himself. He's starting to limp away, but Influence Rage have already taken a huge opening with 2 members down. They're going to take the bottom T3 as well.
Okay, what's the call here? Do we go in for more? Because there is no more Extreme, there's no more Kong. They have the 2 tanks left. Kilteezy actually right now is a very, very crucial positioning. If they can take Kilteezy down, there is no defense.
There's absolutely no defense. I mean, he's the guy that needs to just do the wave clearing. He needs to get that farm. But again, if we're talking about space and XP, he's just overall, he's fallen really behind. Leffy has a 2-level advantage over him.
He also has a 2,000 gold advantage. It's 2 for 2 at this point. And you know what? 7-1 in terms of the kill score. It's looking all Brazil at this point.
It is, definitely so. I mean, they're taking everything. I mean, they can't even get to their own Crimson Golem because of the fact that they've been zoned away. Influence Rage playing this one phenomenally here as they've like completely zoned them away.
And they play this really safely, right? Both Crimson buffs, one on Fury, one on Leffy. The big pokes, they don't even need Danny to jump in. He doesn't have to take the risk.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, when you have Fury, you have Tempest, all of these guys that can be those frontliners, and Danny can just, you know, secondary initiate, which is what you want to do because he's very vulnerable. He's able to find that damage, and he's able to burst them down when they need to.
Yeah, Fury definitely was watching the interview, right?
Yes.
We meant the advice for new players, but Fury was like, okay, that sounds good to me too.
Yeah, I mean, they saw the first series. This Lorien has just been unreal in terms of how much impact that he has. Those orbs are starting to do some serious damage. He pushes away, zoned them out. The top T3, look at just like that. They're looking to take this down.
Yep, the fight hasn't even started, and they're low, right? The 2 pokes, Leffy getting those soaring signals in, Fury with the pokes as well. This is a hard defense for S8ul, and it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard or impossible at this stage, right? Oh, they go in, they find him and kill Teasy just like that. You blink and you're going to be killed, and they find them. They push him back as well. They find Kong, but the crystal is open. They're going to take it, 1 down. Influence Rage up, game number 1.
Big moments for the side of Influence Rage, and it was a rager. This is where Kaiba, the coach, wanted to have happen. He has been waiting for this moment on the international stage for a long time.
And now it looks like, I mean, they're going to be so happy with that, how that one played out. S8ul, on the other hand, kind of, you know, this is a bit of a wake-up call. It's not the end of the world. It's just 1 game, but they need to find ways to bounce back in this one.
I mean, okay, it's just 1 game, right? It doesn't matter if you lose at this stage that much. You still have a second life. But ideally, you want to be able to make it last faster.
And INF is going to take that first victory. It was an 8 minutes match. They came in and then just in a very supreme and very superior fashion, they came in and they took in the victory. Lads, break it down for everyone, please.
I mean, it's just a very big difference in terms of experience, right? Where we see, yes, individual prowess coming in from players like Danny on that Jing, finding multiple angles, and also the Guan Yu. That was a magnificent performance in ending that game in that crystal area here. But in terms of the individual performance here coming in from S8ul, you can clearly see that they are really lacking behind in that team understanding in terms of macro and micro.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there was definitely... We do have experience on the side of Solar Esports, right? Obviously, we do have Kong there. He's probably going to be the driving force, giving and ushering all this experience over to the team. But when they have Influence Rage, Chuck BR, that's been going since, what, 2022. There is a wealth of more experience there for Influence Rage.
And you could see just in the main difference when we're talking about Danny, right? Like, Danny in here, he comes in with the Jin pick. He's the person that opens the game over here for Influence Rage, right? Like, they come in the 4th minute. The Jin, just the initiation over there in the blue zone, it is what makes everything just turn around. What about if we just go for a quick break? When we come back, it's gonna be game number 2 of this match number 2. Let's go back to Influence Rage against Seoul Esports. In that game number 1, I do believe that the key for Influence Rage to be able to take the victory was their awareness of the map and the way that they were zoning out their opponents in all of the different lanes, right?
I feel like it's a very good point, right? Where you have the Unbridled Outburst coming in from Maina, and also Tempest coming in from the back with that Guan Yu's ultimate here, which actually limited a lot of space coming in from the side of SAUL to find those early game markers here. Yes, you want to play the double marksman composition like what Buriram did, but in the end, if you can't get the early game going, laning phase jungle, you're just gonna get sandwiched by that double engage.
Of course, that is not going. It's not going to work out, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like, you need to be able to have an advantage if you want to play with that double marksman composition, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to play with that double marksman compensation, you then going to try and like create that space for yourself, right? But then, like you said, if you got the Guan Yu just pushing you into the jingle, it's kind of just like, where's your space? You've not got it. If you don't know where to be, we're going to force you into that right place.
They did have at the beginning of the game, they had one opportunity just to take that first blood that might have just turned things around. Like, it would have actually just made everyone just feel a lot better with themselves and could actually turn the game around, but they couldn't just capitalize out of that.
And especially when you talk about these moments here where you are losing not only by draft, you're also losing by team fights here. So it's really difficult for the players on the side of SAUL to realistically find a footing for those proper team fights.
There we go. Obviously, they need to find the proper team fights. I feel like Solar Esports, this definitely need to kind of just go back to what they know. Trust Kong maybe lean into that a little bit more in terms of the experience that he has for the team. But it's all there for them to show now. This is their showcase. Do they go to the low bracket or do they fight for the upper bracket? Casters, they need to tell the story.
They're gonna have to just tell us the story of what is going on in here. Take it from here, lads.
Yeah, thank you so much as we go into game number 2 to find the draft. For me, it seemed like it was too much of an all-in play on the KLTZ, especially with this Flowborn marksman. I feel like you need to balance it out, right? I think that you can't put too much pressure on one guy. Everybody needs to step up.
Yeah, it needs to be a balance in terms of who gets the resources, how do we distribute the resources for this. And at this point, I think, you know what, at least in game 1, Kong, I felt, did a decent job of trying to resolve the situation, but time was not on their side.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have much time when the spacing is going to be completely taken away, right? There was that initial fight where 3 members got killed right before the Tyrants. That was a bit of a disaster in terms of a start. You need to kind of come out 50-50. Maybe you contest, take that away. They were not able to do so.
I mean, this is one of the things, right? They were pretty tanky, but they only had 2 points of damage realistically, right? One from the Gudo, the other from the Flowborn marksman. So at this point, once again, we're going to re-explore the BPs. Lianpo is going to be a big pick. Zhang Fei is going to be a big pick. These are the big tanks, right? No more Lapu Lapu for them on the side of S8ul. I'm wondering if they want to go for utility roams instead.
I think it makes sense, right? But I think that for me, maybe you let Kong not just play like the tanky style junglers, but let him fly too. Let him play like the Jing, Luna, those styles, right? They are aggressive. Let them play, again, use his advantage to create space. Now KLTZ will have a much easier game.
Okay, I like the idea of that, but it's kind of a difficult position to be in because right now they're just going to start up with the Chicha. Chicha, as you all know, flex pick can be played in the farm, can be played in the clash, can be played in the jungle. So I like this movement from SAUL.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I mean, I like the fact that you're talking about how flexible it is. It's a lot of mind games because if you're looking at the other side, it's like, oh, where is it going to be? How do we ban other heroes, understanding that it could be literally any of those lanes?
That's right, and you know what? Let's not even consider the difficulties. Let's just go for tankiness first, right? And we have the potential of return fire on that ultimate, on the Dharma as well, the truth mantra. So I like this. Lapu Lapu as well as the Dharma picks coming in. This is going to be a very important pick because Tempest, I felt like he had a lot of impact in game number 1. Now with a Dharma, there is even more pain to offer.
Yeah, just setup after setup. And he finds the right angles, especially like he did in the last game with Guan Yu. But if we're looking at the other end, it looks like they're going to go with the tried and true. The Zhang Fei, very traditional, but the Zhang Yu, your thoughts on this one in the clash?
I love this hero when it's on my team. Because with the Hegemon Slash, which is the ultimate, the lower your health, the higher the damage, and you also get a mini stun from that skill itself. So this is a positional objective on the side of SAUL, right? If this Xiangyu gets into the correct position, soaks in enough damage, returns it fully to the side of Influence Rage, it could change the plane of the fight.
My only concern is Xiangyu very slow, right? The Hegemon Slash takes like 3 business days to truly arrive. I mean, to actually hit that mark. But again, if you have other setup, especially with this Zhang Fei, you have ways to kind of mitigate and play around it.
I mean, okay, number one, yes, maybe for some people it feels like it takes 3 business days, and plus you're trying to get it on an Erin who is like a feather in the wind.
Yes.
Right? Very mobile, able to change directions at any moment, and within a moment's notice. That's the biggest thing. Now, the big question here is, can this Erin farm? Do they give the space for Leffy to get the gold in his pocket?
Yeah, and actually Leffy, let's talk a little bit about him, because when he was picked up, it seemed like Influence Rage were able to kind of up themselves to the next level. They were able to kind of really just use his play and, you know, just solidify that farm lane to elevate this team to the next level. Leffy right now, from what I'm told, he's one of the hardest workers in the room. So there's a lot of good things that, again, you can kind of see in the play of Leffy here.
Okay, so hardest worker. I mean, if you're paid fairly, then probably he's going to get a lot of gold in his pocket for this game number 2. Now, they're going to pick up the Ukyo Tachibana for the side of Influence Rage. Going up... Wait, what is this? This is going to be a Ziya in the mid lane and a DMG in the farm lane. The Chicha is going into the jungle.
Okay. We knew it was going to be flexible. And again, they might as well just flex it like that. But now you have the Ziya, which again is one of those win more type of heroes. It doesn't do the greatest things at times, because when you're behind, it feels like a really just tough hero to play with here.
Actually, I would contest that. With the Sanctification, he gets extra EXP as well, right? And he can break the level limit, so you get to level 25 if the game really goes late. Put that on a Chicha, put that on a DRNG. It changes the whole situation of the team fight. Right now, you have to have many other considerations as well. Now, they're gonna finish up the draft on S8ul's side, or no, Influence Rage with the Nua. I like that. There's a lot of burst damage, a lot of mobility, very quick rotations from the mid lane as well. This could change a lot of things.
And actually, it's about that range. You have a huge the artillery bombardment from, you know, the next level, or the next map, if you will. I mean, he's able to just stay alive. He's able to kind of stay out of harm's reach, especially when they have the Zhang Yu as well as the Zhang Fei. Both of these guys that are looking to find that backline.
You know, I always think like that when I play a Nua, but somehow I find myself in the loving arms of the opponent team. So hopefully this doesn't happen for the side of Influence Rage. But this is a difficult position to be in, because S8ul, they want to get into the thick of the action. They want to be in your face.
Yeah, and I think that they need to play that way. They need to be aggressive. They need to give themselves a chance, because again, I know that you like the Extreme Ziya as more of a late game assurance. I'm looking at his early game. If they falter here, he's literally just an old man. He's like a poor man's Gandalf, if you will.
Okay, well, the old man put some damage in here, and Danny, I like the idea, the question, but this is time wasted, right? If they don't manage to get the early rotations, this is going to cost them.
Yeah, and Danny here using that gold sharing. One thing that we saw even in game 1 was how Influence Rage were able to extract as much value across the map, especially early, because that was what was able to get that snowball going here.
Yeah, and more importantly, right, it's also they now have the information about which buff was started.
True.
So this is going to impact what they're going to be thinking about, right? In the next 90 seconds, how do we want to plan our rotations? Do we want to care about the mid lane, right? Right now, this is free EXP that they're losing if they don't get here on time.
Yes. But look at how all 3 members, just like that, right? Influence Rage, all of them are like, okay, let's use that gold sharing. That wave is about to crash into the tower. So they've kind of, again, extracted as much as possible, sticking to a 3-man posse here.
Okay, I like this, right? I'm just going to sidestep into the hyper roast. Revenant, Spark, as well as S8ul Esports will break the meta of HOK Global Esports. As it stands now, it's looking a little, you know, new.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to be like where these teams are, especially when you haven't played against some of the levels of these teams who have been playing around for year after year, right? So it's a little bit, you know, more of a kind of a free roll for S8ul as they kind of find their footing to find. Nice 2-man stun with that Universal Law, which has been dodged out. Influence Rage, get on out of there.
Okay, did they burn the common spells? No, they did not. But was it worth the exchange? It puts fear in the minds on the side of Influence Rage, right? This is a possibility you have to consider. Now, with that being said, S8ul, oh, KillTZ. This one is looking a little bit uncomfortable. Leffy, you talked about being the hardest worker in the room. He is working really hard right now.
Yeah, KillTZ though, he's gonna get found out. Danny, he's looking for the first kill. He's gonna take first blood right there, and that was a wounded fish, if you will. He's gonna take that free food to go.
And this is a level 4 mana. There is something to set up here. If they can steal this away before the 4-minute Tyrant, this could be huge for the side of Influence Rage.
Actually, the way that they're disengaging is that, okay, it's about value, right? Let's just go to the mid lane. We don't need to do a 50-50 smite, and a smite battle, if you will. Danny completely giving that up, but again, just trying to extract more farm on this map as they're up about 1.3.
Yep. What I'm curious about is at this point, have they frozen the lane? No, they have not. So Leffy actually allows the recovery of gold and EXP for the side of KLTC.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misplay. I mean, again, I think that freezing it in that bottom lane would have been huge for them because KLTZ, that walk of shame all the way back, plus you're losing a lane, it would have been very difficult to find anything. So again, a little bit of a, misplay, if you will.
I think calculated risk at this point, right?
Okay.
So Doofy, that's the thing I want to really focus on. Doofy, game number 1, got caught out early before the fights.
Right.
But now we're going to have a new one.
Oh, here's the emergence. They actually have the numbers. The 3-man stun, the Hegemon slash will actually connect on, but they find Kong in the bad spot as Danny takes that kill.
This is unfortunate for the side of SAUL. They need Kong to stay online. They need him to come up as soon as possible. They're going to stop this TP. 15 seconds cooldown.
Oh, Miriam just stopping the teleport, but there's 3-4 members of them, and Miriam is going to sacrifice his life just to cancel that TP.
Yep, didn't even have his ultimate available. Had to burn the flash as well. And now, 4 minutes is here. The Tyrant has arrived, and Influence Rage looking super strong.
And Kong, he's already used the smite. It's on cooldown right now, so they actually can't even contest on this one. Influence Rage are going to pick this up for free. Yes, they are around, but again, you're giving that one away.
I mean, how many advantages do you want to get? You get the Tyrant, you also get the T1 at the top with the split push from Tempest. It's all looking good for the side of Influence Rage. They want to end the series here and now, clean slate.
They're looking very clean right now. I mean, this is a huge lead already, 2.5 or so. Doofy's on back off here. But the way that they're, again, just taking stuff off of the map, the positioning of them, they're finding Doofy in a bad spot, and they're going to take that free kill as well. The emergence potentially going in, but the Universal Law on the Fury and Danny, they are low.
No, but they don't have the long-range finish. There is no one to finish the job here, right? And if they still survive, they get away, they're going to get back to full health. And once again, you find yourself in the exact same position. You have nothing to offer at this point.
Yeah, nothing at this point. And it's kind of a sad story, if you will, but SAUL, it's one of those things where, okay, this is not looking good. How can we get ourselves back into this game? Do we go aggressive? How are we getting back?
I think it really is avoid the fights, right?
Okay.
They have to avoid the fights at this point. They have to try and farm safely and also understand what rotations are possible. This needs to be done by Doofy. He needs to let the team know whether buffs are up, what kind of rotations are being made on the side of Influence Rage. He's already giving the vision.
Okay, but it looks like they have all 5 members. They try to go all in. They do get the pickoff. They find Leffy. And on the backside, it looks like Fury's going to be targeted on next, and he too will fall. That is a great ambush attempt, but Miriam a little bit low. They find Extreme. Danny has showed up, but he gets stun locked here on this side. And now with that Raging Sea, completely whizzing KLTZ, who gets back onto the tower. Doofy is still duking it out with Danny. Danny decides to turn it up. He actually leaps over the wall, but they're going to dive the tower, and Mena not able to find Miriam in the end.
It was a sliver of hope, right? It looked great. 2 kills for the side of SAUL, but the punish coming in from this side of Influence Rage was exactly the same as well in quality. Now, Danny, recovery 4-0-1. This guy is a monster in the making, and there is no slowing down. 3,000 gold lead. Majority should be in the hands of Danny here.
Yeah, Danny is that guy, right? He is literally the guy in terms of just like when the team fights are happening, you got to get out. Extreme trying to flash away. The mini stun on. He's not getting out of that one as Danny finds yet another. Miriam is going to charge on back, but they've been completely zoned away from this bottom T2.
Yeah, it's not even about taking a fight. It's just pushing them back, so the backdoor defense will be unlocked by the moving minions on the bot side of the way of the lane. And right now, Influence Rage, they have absolute control over the gorge.
Yeah, absolute control. I mean, SAUL, we're able to find a couple pickoffs. Things were looking decent for them in terms of this comeback, but then Danny shows up and you're like, wait, actually, we are really that far behind.
Yeah, but it's a difficult position to be in because if you take a look at the 2 main tanks, they're eating too much damage before the fight actually starts. Now, this was looking great for a moment, but look at how many spells they threw, how many ultimates they dropped down to try and get the 2 kills. These are the squishiest targets, and you have to use so many resources.
Yeah, they threw everything, but Danny finding that backline. Once he shows up, he's like that superhero, right? And he was able to find enough, and they were able to kind of take them down because of his damage. And again, Danny has been the guy. If he's nearby, you just got to run, if you will.
Yeah, man, this is the byproduct, right? Hang on.
Oh, they find Tempest. The nice little charge back. Mena trying to control, but the Raging Sea is going to be on point. They find Tempest. Doofy doing a little bit of work, but he's going to be whittled down by Leffy, trying to focus him down. SAUL are going to just walk away. Emergence just barely misses Doofy.
And why did Influence Rage take that fight? Take a look at the top side of the map, right? They not only get the split push going in, quite a bit of damage on the T3, and right now they could be looking for more. Kong needs to move away. In fact, the rest of them kill TZ as well as Doofy. They have to be really careful with Extreme. Get away from this position. It's so dangerous.
Oh, so dangerous with Danny there. Mena getting a little bit low. The charge on back. Danny now getting focused here. He's a bit on the squishier side. He's going to use the healing too, but SAUL finding ways to get back in. I mean, they're, taking the fight to him.
4,000 gold difference in advantage to Influence Rage. Not bad for being in this position to try and hang on. 8.5 minutes, this is a Tyrant, the normal Tyrant, not the enhanced one, so it's still okay for the side of Influence Rage. Big question now is, what is the mental state here, right? It feels like they have the ability to recover, but do they even get the chance? Because Influence Rage, they still have a good control of the map.
But taking that Tyrant is just like a baby step towards the right direction in terms of how this game is looking to go, at least if you're an SAUL fan. That's what you want to do. You got to win the little things to compound it into something much bigger. Miriam getting focused here. The creation blocks are going to do a little bit more, but not enough to take him down. They're under the mid T1.
Oh, Goofy.
Oh, the stuns. Oh, they're absolutely real. He's getting whittled, and now it looks like Miriam tried to go all in, but Leffy finds him. Tempest is going to be traded away. It's a clash for clash, and now Danny, he's going to just back off on this one. They're going to be happy with that trade.
It's a full trade of resources as well, but the ultimates are coming back off cooldown. Danny already has his. Meanwhile, Extreme and Doofy have theirs, but Doofy is so low. Doofy, I feel like he needs to take less damage. He's getting the vision, sure, but do it without getting hit.
Yeah, I think that Doofy is thinking the same thing. He's like, I need to take less damage, but they just keep focusing me, right? I think the game plan is definitely there, but now, I mean, if anything, it's about that vision game. Just like understanding and tracking where the enemy team is.
They can't defend this. This is a T2 for free on the side of Influence Rage. Doofy does not have the madness as well to get his ultimate off. So, you know what? Taking a T1 at the top, that's the best they can do. I like it.
Yeah, you'll take what you can get, right, in terms of that spacing. I mean, Tempest is there. He'll kind of clear. This is a numbers advantage in the mid lane. It looks like Miriam trying to go in. Mena looking to duel on this one, and now with that Raging Sea off to the side, they find Kong. The burst is real, and Doofy too will fall. Kill TZ not able to pick off it looks like Mena. He's going to survive, but Kill TZ taking a lot of damage. Is he able to get away? That was a baby universal law, and Tempest on the prowl with the Formless. Not quick enough.
He was looking good at it. He had the true mantra. He had the flash as well. I knew what was coming. And you know what? Tempest said, chill out, guys. We don't take too many unnecessary risks here.
Yeah, and now with this Overlord, and it looks like they want the Tyrant. They're going to go for both at the same time. Very greedy, but when you've got two members down and this lead, I think it's okay for Influence Rage.
Yep, double BJ, I love to see this. It shows you to what extent, like Danny, he's also making sure they don't have the Primal Bond. This is what you should do if you want a double objective. That's enhanced version, Shadow variants, by the way.
Yeah, synchronized, a big neutral taking, right? That was the perfect way, but again, DJ can break this one down.
Yeah, I mean, this is all down to Miriam, right? He wanted to get the setup. Good idea, but that Matrix coming in from the side of Fury, that was so monumental in the fight, allowing for a lot of damage coming in with Annihilation as well.
Oh, Miriam a little bit low. Danny not enough damage to take him down, but SAUL, tuck tail run. They hide under the top T3 here, but Influence Rage not looking to give this up. They have at least the Siege Catapult. Do they have enough damage to take it down? They do not.
I mean, at this point, they have to trade health points for the defense.
Yes.
Right? And that's not a good situation. It means you fight unfairs. And Influence Rage to take the T3 in the middle. This is going to open up the doors. This might be the last fight here.
Yeah, the Shadow Vanguard is in the bottom lane as well. Kong trying to deal with that Vanguard. That will slow things down, at least for now. Top lane, that was the big push. They take the top T3.
Okay, now Kong does have the Blood Rage. This might be the smallest of advantages, I hope, but SAUL on their last legs. This is the last T3. It looks like it's going to be taken down.
Yeah, Mena just walking forward. Miriam just getting slowly picked off. The Raging Sea is going to be committed. The shields are on point, though. And now with that Annihilation, they do find Miriam. And now Kong, he too will fall. Doofy getting a little bit low, and he will fall as well. They've taken the 4 members down. And now Keltizi not able to do so. And it looks like Influence Rage are going to take game number 2 in this series.
Upper bracket secure. Now, the strongest teams have made it work in this part of the today, which means they will be going up against Buriram United Esports.
Yeah, and I think that they're going to be super happy with that result on this one. Influence Rage coming to play 2-0 very quickly, if you will, but that was looking like a team that was on the next level here.
I mean, they said they were ready for the international stage, and Kaiba said they wanted more, and this is exactly what I want to see out of Influence Rage. Good start.
Very good start. It couldn't be better, right? But at the same time, SAUL, they had their moments. Let's not discourage what they did. They were able to find it out, but again, just too much Influence Rage in the end.
Yep. I mean, this is their first international, right? So this is a good learning experience. Not many people get to go to the international stage as a training ground, you know, right? First major event, you're in Paris, right here on the big stage. This is going to be an important lesson, and they need to recover fast.
Very quickly. There's no other time. We have one more series. You lose that one, you're going home. So if anything, right now, you got to just kind of shake things up and get back into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for match number 2. Influence Range is going to be the winners. Influence Range is going to move forward in the upper bracket, and today they're going to be playing against Buriram United Esports for that first ticket into the group stage.
And the both of them, on how they exactly played the series, it was very, very similar in a very dominating fashion for both Buriram and also the side of Influence Rage, where they choke out their opponents through map resources, force them to take uncomfortable fights, and then that 10-minute mark, when it hits, they clean up the game easily here. And you gotta say, when we go into the upper bracket later to decide the first Group A slot into the the group stage, that's gonna be interesting because it's really hard to predict who's gonna win out.
Of course, no, but before we jump into what's gonna happen into that upper bracket, right? Let's just put our eyes into S8ul, right? They had some moments, some sparks of really top-level performance in this game as well, right?
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, the draft-wise, I mean, going into a best-of-3, there's so many more better picks I feel like you could have gone for. Obviously, like the Shang Yu here into the Clash lane. I mean, what are you really doing, right? What are you charging into? You're charging into a creation